Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday evening. All good to have you here. And I know we're a bit few on the ground tonight, but this is being recorded, and I hope everybody gets benefit out of the recordings later. I know there's a lot of people having problems with power tonight, so we hope all of that comes right soon. So we're still going through the skeletal system, and we've been through what is the skeleton, what are the muscles and ligaments, what foods to use to boost these things. And now we're going through the different supplements that have been recommended by Neolife and the SAB. And last week we covered calcium, and we covered my favorite, which is Full Motion. This week we're going to continue, and we're going to talk about magnesium, which is one of our newer products and is also a mineral. Magnesium is one of the most abundant minerals found in the body. It is predominantly found within our body's cells and bones, playing an important role in health and nutrition. Magnesium is essential for hundreds of biochemical reactions in the body. These include contribution to maintenance of normal bone health, normal psychological function, and muscle function, as well as metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So it might seem like a sort of an insignificant little thing, but magnesium is quite a potent little product. Magnesium plays an important role in lifelong health and vitality. So it's vital to your system if you're wanting to live a long and healthy life. Low levels of magnesium have been associated with a number of chronic diseases. And additionally, magnesium plays a critical part in physical performance. Adequate magnesium status is of the utmost importance for both competitive and recreational athletes, given the role magnesium plays in cellular reactions, releasing energy from carbohydrates and fats, and its important role in muscle contraction during strength training and endurance activity. So you can think of, if you have an older car, you can think of, now I'm not very mechanically minded, but pretty much the carburetor, or even in the modern vehicles, your computer processor. In fact, take a modern vehicle. It has a little microchip stored in it somewhere along the line. If that isn't functioning properly, you can be driving the fanciest Merc or BMW that's currently on the road, but if that little microchip is malfunctioning, you've got a very expensive block of aluminium that's not going to go very far. And that is more or less what magnesium does in our system. There are many reasons why magnesium deficiencies exist, and these include consuming foods that are low in magnesium, changes in farming practices, food processing techniques, along with the consumption of over-the-counter and prescription drugs. And that is why Neolife's SAB formulated the Neolife Magnesium Complex, because it combines three well-known forms of magnesium in a tri-mag blend and whole food nutrients, known as a phyto-mag blend, to help supplement the diet. So they've very carefully taken three different good sources of magnesium and put it together in one tablet. So why a magnesium supplement? Magnesium plays an important role in body functions, and it is important for bones, muscles, and protein synthesis. Magnesium is required for energy production and optimum vitality. It helps to activate vitamin D. So we all know the importance of vitamin D, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But if you don't have sufficient magnesium, you can have a large amount of vitamin D, but it won't be activated, which is pretty useless. Magnesium is needed by the body to use calcium, which is why we have magnesium mixed with our calcium, as well as the vitamin D. And magnesium helps to restore the ideal magnesium to calcium ratio in the body, which should be 2 parts calcium to 1 part magnesium. And it plays an important role in the prevention of many diseases. So why this particular blend or complex? The Neolife Magnesium Complex is a magnesium supplement containing bioavailable magnesium from 3 main sources, complemented by whole food phytonutrients. So it's a double amino acid chelated magnesium. It is organically bound magnesium citrate, and it is the natural earth form of magnesium oxide. And it provides 150 milligrams of magnesium per 1 tablet serving from 3 main sources, namely the double amino acid chelated magnesium bound to glycine to provide a highly bioavailable and absorbable form of magnesium. Remember, as with any nutrient, be it mineral, be it vitamin, be it protein, if your body is not able to absorb it, all you're doing is wasting time and money. It's a little bit like putting on a raincoat, climbing into the shower, and expecting to get clean and wet. It's not going to happen. You've got to take the raincoat off first before you're going to get wet. And the double amino acid mineral chelation process was developed by our very own Dr. Arthur First. Trimagnesium citrate is an organically bound natural source of magnesium with a very high bioavailability. Magnesium oxide has the highest concentration of magnesium and is easily absorbed. And the Phytomag blend is a proprietary blend, meaning it's unique and exclusive to Neolife, of whole food beetroot, kale, broccoli, and radish, which are all foods that provide phytonutrient benefits such as antioxidant power and are natural sources of magnesium. Not too sure about you, but I haven't had a lot of kale or radish or beetroot this week. Magnesium complex is developed using our 3D technology to enhance bioavailability. And the 3D technology assures rapid and complete disintegration, meaning breakdown of the tablet, dissolution, getting it into the system or getting it into the circulation, and dispersion, getting it out into the system and into the cells. If any one of those 3 things are not working, you're not going to be absorbing your supplement. Pardon me. It is a vegetarian as well as a vegan formula made entirely without animal-sourced ingredients of any kind. And this, a lot of people are asking about these days because for some weird reason, the vegan diet and the vegetarian diet are becoming quite popular. I have my own theories about these things, which I won't get into right now, but if you are a vegan or if you are a vegetarian, know that you're probably not getting nearly sufficient nutrition that you need. So the magnesium complex fulfills the strict sourcing criteria expected by a vegetarian as well as vegan supplement users. There are no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives added, just like with any Neolife product. And they only use GMO-free ingredients. So this one I'm going to spin through a little bit quicker because we've been over this on more than one occasion. But the other thing that is excellent for more specifically joints, as well as your intervertebral discs and muscles and ligaments, etc., is your salmon oil. And it has long been known and proven that omega-3 fatty acids play critical roles in the human diet. In particular, 2 omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, namely EPA and DHA. We won't worry about what those letters actually stand for because they're quite big words. And these have been well researched. Today, the latest scientific research not only continues to validate the important roles of EPA and DHA in human health, but has also shown that there's a whole family of omega-3s. In fact, a total of 8, which contribute to optimal human nutrition. This critically important chain of dietary omega-3 fatty acids starts with ALA, which is your alpha-linolenic acid, and ends with DHA, or your docosahexaenoic acid. Again, sorry, don't worry about the big words. Taking 6 important steps along the way. Each is now known to have its own unique biochemistry and supporting synergistic role in human omega-3 nutrition. The dietary guidelines for many nations around the world, including those of the USDA and food-based dietary guidelines for South Africans, suggest that all adults eat 2 to 3 servings of fish, specifically oily fish, each week for optimal health. What's your fish intake like? I know I'm not getting the 2 to 3 servings a week. Unfortunately, the problem for many adults is that they eat very little fish on a consistent basis and rarely meet this important nutritional need. Large portions of the population go without getting any broad spectrum omega-3 supplementation for weeks, sometimes months, sometimes ever. Not to mention the fact that much of the fish supply is suspect due to environmental contamination. There was a news report a little while ago that basically advising people not to eat fish caught in the harbor of specifically places that were mentioned was Cape Town and Durban. Because of the pollution in those harbors, the fish that you catch there are actually poisonous. They consume toxins continuously, so eating those fish will be poisonous to your system. Pregnant women who have the highest dietary needs for omega-3, ironically, are instructed to limit their fish intake to 1 serving per week due to contamination risk, whereas they should be having about 4 to 5 servings of fish per week. Currently, there are no formal guidelines for the amount of omega-3 that children should consume. However, the USDA recommends 85 to 225 grams of seafood, including fatty fish, such as salmon, tuna, and mackerel. Sorry, I'm getting some noise in the background over here. Here we go. However, okay. The 3 different sources of fish, your salmon, tuna, and mackerel, are rich in omega-3s, and they need to be eaten every week, depending on the child's age. Meeting these recommendations for intakes of omega-3 rich fish per week will equate to approximately 250 to 500 milligrams of omega-3 per day. Despite the importance of the omega-3 for children, few are getting enough servings of fish in their diet. Research in South Africa found that children in general are eating higher amounts of saturated fats and insufficient amounts of polyunsaturated fats, particularly the omega-3 rich sources. And this is true even in coastal communities who have greater access to fish potentially rich in important omega-3 fats. Again, that pollution story. In the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, fish constitutes the lowest source of kilojoules in the family diet. Now, Neolife solves the problem of inadequate omega-3 with the 2 products, Salmon Oil Plus and Omega-3 Salmon Oil Plus, providing a complete omega-3 profile of salmon oil with all 8 members of the omega-3 family, assuring complete supplementation in every dose. Fatty fish is the richest source of healthful omega-3, but most of us do not eat the 2 to 3 servings per week that experts recommend for optimal health. Remember that the colder the water the fish lives in, the better the quality of the fatty acids that you're going to get out of them. supplementation has been proven to be an effective means of increasing the dietary omega-3. Omega-3 support optimal function of body tissues and organs, notably the heart, blood vessels, brain, nerves, eyes, skin, and joints. Omega-3 is crucial to the development of infant brain and eyes and are naturally present in mother's milk. Sadly, a lot of mothers are no longer breastfeeding these days either, which is, I find, very sad, not to mention quite scary. Infants whose mothers consume foods rich in omega-3 have higher omega-3 levels compared to those whose mothers do not consume them. Omega-3 may also slow aging of the brain. So if you're suffering from brain fog and you book it down to age or COVID or any of those things, know that you probably are needing to boost your omega-3 levels. I have found a significant improvement in my memory with taking omega-3 on a daily basis. Older adults who supplement their diets with EPA and DHA have demonstrated greater cognitive function when compared to those who don't. And people who do not like fish can get the omega-3 they need for optimal health from fish oil supplements. Although in a lot of cases, unfortunately, people don't even want to take the supplement, especially if they don't like the fish. So both of our options are based on pure salmon oil, providing all the benefits of one of nature's richest sources of omega-3. Products include ultra-high potency omega-3 with an exclusive near-life technology that boosts, stabilizes, and standardizes specific health-promoting omega-3 levels while maintaining the whole food goodness of nature's salmon oil. They are the first supplements of their kind to assure a standardized amount of all 8 members of the omega-3 family involved in human nutrition. And the ingredients in the formulations are derived by molecular differentiation as opposed to distillation. And this leading edge technology that selects specific nutrient molecules from tuna, sardines, and anchovies while eliminating or reducing others, delivering unsurpassed potency, purity, and consistency. The products are safe with no risk of accumulated toxins. Only the finest, top quality, health screened, disease-free fish are selected for human consumption. All sources are screened for more than 200 known potential contaminants with an allowable detection limit of 0. And the salmon oil plus potency is guaranteed to deliver 460 milligrams of EPA, 480 milligrams of DHA, 50 milligrams of DPA, and 80 milligrams of mixed omega-3 fatty acids with every 3 capsule serving. And the smaller one has about half of that amount. And there is no hidden vitamins A or D. So now we're going to get onto the vitamin D, or vegan D as we know it over here. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin and is known as the sunshine vitamin because we can make it in the body when ultraviolet B or UVB rays from sunlight hit the skin. So the theory is we can create our own vitamin D. The practical is, are we getting sufficient sunlight on sufficient exposed skin that is not modified or protected with sunscreen? Vitamin D exerts its effects by binding to a protein called the vitamin D receptor. This receptor is present in nearly every cell of the body and affects many different body processes. We also get vitamin D directly from foods, but it is generally difficult to obtain adequate levels from foods alone. Foods with good levels of vitamin D include oily fish, the salmon, the tuna, the mackerel, which we've already discovered and discussed that we're not getting enough of, beef liver, Another thing I don't eat on a regular basis: cheese, egg yolks, and mushrooms. The last three, that is a little bit more common in my diet. We typically obtain only about 10 to 20% of our vitamin D from foods. The other 80 to 90% may be produced in the body following exposure to sunlight. Again, we don't spend a lot of time out in the sun. Our life stage, skin pigmentation, life situation, and sun exposure have an enormous influence on the levels of vitamin D, or vitamin D status as it's known, that we achieve. With today's typically indoor lifestyles and the use of sunscreens, inadequacies and deficiencies of vitamin D are extremely common. Vitamin D plays several roles in our body by contributing to the absorption of calcium and phosphorus and playing a role in the development and maintenance of strong bones and teeth. Another multi-purpose supplement, just like the magnesium. It also contributes to normal function of the immune system, as well as muscle function and cell division. Maintaining an adequate level of vitamin D through life is recommended by major nutrition societies and public health authorities around the world. That is why Neolife's SAB formulated the Neolife Vegan D, which is, again, is a proprietary blend unique of naturally sourced and whole food-based vitamin D ingredients to help supplement the diet. So why do we need to supplement? Today's indoor living lifestyles and use of sunscreens threaten our vitamin D body stores, and a large percentage of people around the world of all ages are low in vitamin D. Surprisingly enough, in places like South Africa, where there's a lot of sunshine, Australia, which is the sunshine capital of the world, as well as places like Saudi and Dubai and those areas, again, lots of sunshine, very little vitamin D. We typically only get 10 to 20% of our D from the diet, as vitamin D is not widely distributed in foods. Getting enough vitamin D all year round is vital to our optimal wellness and vitality, as this vitamin is needed by several body systems and organs. Both vitamin D2, which is ergocalciferol, and vitamin D3, which is the cholecalciferol, are known to be effective. Apologies. Vitamin D contributes to normal function of the immune system, blood calcium levels, and also helps in the absorption and use of calcium and phosphorus. Calcium intake, when combined with sufficient vitamin D, a healthy diet, and regular exercise, may reduce the risk of developing osteoporosis. So it's very, very important. It's there also for the development and maintenance of strong bones and teeth, also for muscle function and cell division. So now, why the vegan D specifically? Vegan D is a proprietary blend of naturally sourced and whole food-based vitamin D ingredients to ensure high potency and bioavailability. It combines both D3 and D2, and it contains vitamin D3 from lichen known as reindeer lichen, which is actually a combination of an algae and a fungus. This natural lichen D3 ingredient is, oops, I think I've got that mixed up over there. But basically, if you thought that lichen wasn't in the normal human food chain, it actually is, because in the northern areas where they get this from, people take this lichen off the rocks and use it as a emergency food. And there are apparently recipe books that have got this as an active ingredient, and it's there to boost the immune system. So vitamin D2 from yeast and superior quality mushrooms. It is sustainably sourced using gentle extraction techniques. It's traditionally consumed by people in the Arctic countries. And these mushrooms also provide an array of whole food nutrients including beta glucans. It is 100% vegan. So this is important again, because as I was saying, with people who are vegans or vegetarians, they specifically are not getting enough of these sorts of things. Now, unfortunately, a vegan will not take our omega-3s because it is fish sourced. So they won't be getting that. But they can take things like magnesium, CalMag, vitamin D. So these are all important for them to be taking. They can even take the full motion as well, because there's no animal sourced products in any of these things, any of these supplements. So it's perfectly safe for them. And most vegans are unfortunately going to be suffering from arthritis at some stage because they are not getting the omega-3, which is the anti-inflammatory that they need to get on a regular basis. So that ends my presentation on bones and joints. Let me just stop sharing. Does anybody have any questions or comments in the 9 minutes we've got left before I quit recording?
Well done, Sean. Oh.
Thank you. Anybody got questions or comments or testimonies?
How soon can a pregnant lady take omega?
From before she knows she's pregnant. So
Should be on it.
she should be on it. When people are just thinking about falling pregnant, they should be on the omega-3, because generally by the time that you realize that you are pregnant, that little person is fully formed. So their nervous system is there, their heart and circulation is there, their brain is there. Everything is there by the time that you realize that you are pregnant. So
Yeah,
they need that omega-3 from as early an age as possible, and keep it going. It makes a huge difference. I think it's the Japanese have got a 3 to 4% greater IQ than the average American, which is the stats that they were using. And they can also see, I think it's 2 to 3 extra lines on the eye chart, because they have a diet very high in omega-3 rich foods.
and we know that because we've got the most cleverest grandchildren in the whole wide world.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good thing we're not
Linda
biased
as
at
well,
all.
and Jenny as well.
And just from a development perspective, this little one of ours, she took her first steps at 8.5 months.
Whoa.
She is now at 18 months of age. She is able to speak words that one can understand clearly in both English and Afrikaans. And she's 18
Sure.
months old.
Sure. Well done, Sean.
And she had a very good basis of omega-3 to start with. I need to
Yeah,
boost it
yeah.
again now, because I think she's lacking. Okay, I'm going to quit recording.